Welcome to Bandit's Keep Actual Play. I'm Daniel. Today we are picking up my original Dungeons & Dragons solo campaign that uses Chainmail, which is relevant here, and we're looking at the hero and the Hobbit. So this part of the campaign is my more narrative part. However, today we are going to dive straight in and do some straight up wargaming. We're going to use Chainmail as Chainmail, not mixed with OD&D like we usually do, and we're going to fight a battle. Effectively, what's been going on in this campaign, if you haven't been following it, is the forces of chaos have begun to spread. The hero and the Hobbit originally got involved when they found that the wizard tower, well, the wizard's tower of the master wizard of their friend that was a low-level magic user was taken over and the wizard captured. There's been a lot of adventures. They rescued the wizard, etc. Months have gone by now. They've been building an army. So this army of the forces of law is going to face off against the forces of chaos and try to take this tower back. This tower is important to the battle, the overall war, I should say, between law and chaos. So let's hope for the best. All right, it is November 23rd, and I'm back with the hero and the Hobbit. We are going to jump down to the wizard's tower. If you've been following this series, this tower was originally taken by the forces of chaos. The last time the hero and the Hobbit were here, there were just a few griffins that were hanging out, kind of protecting the place. But right now, several months have gone by. I don't have my paper in front of me to check, but it's been at least 3 months, I think, since they were there, maybe 4. At this point, has been overwhelmed by the forces of chaos. Our wizard wants to get this tower back because this will be a beacon of hope and law, if you will, to fight the rest of this battle against chaos. So we're going to do just that. We're going to use the solo wargaming guide. We're going to use Chainmail for the most part, and we're going to fight a battle here with the forces of chaos versus the forces of good, with the wizard and our hero and Hobbit joining in. So one thing I'm going to do from the solo wargamers guide, one of the only things, is figure out the terrain. So I'm going to use this map here to give us a general idea, and every place that we don't put something will just be clear grassland. This stack of boxes is going to represent the wizard's tower, and we're going to use what they say to do in here. So effectively what we do is, you can see an example of it. We're going to lay down cards. One per foot is basically what it says do, 1 per square foot. And then we're going to flip them over and we're going to see what terrain would be there. So just kind of make it nice and simple. I'm not going to measure it exactly, but we'll one there, one there, one there, one there. The tower is going to be on flat, obviously. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be obvious, but it's obvious to me. There, we'll go there, 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 and maybe I'll have some coming off the edge too. Why not? So once we've done this, we flip these over, and then from there we can reference what they are. So let me read the passage. Consult the following table for the meaning of each card if it is black. Otherwise, the terrain is grass. So first we're going to flip them over, and we're going to pull all the red cards off. Okay, so that's nothing. That's staying. Nothing. Chainmail does have its own way to pick terrain, but it does involve the two sides kind of picking as kind of part of the process. And I've done that before, but I feel like this randomness might actually work a little nicer for this. We'll get a lot of variety here. This does have some things like farmhouses and stuff that we're not going to use because we know there's no farmhouses here. So we'll look at what the terrain says and we'll kind of extrapolate from there. So I think I'm just going to push these two up like that. All right, let's take a look. Let's see, we have no face cards. So a 2 is a hill, a 3 is also a hill, 4 is heavy woods. All right, so let me get some terrain out. Hopefully I have enough. So the dark brown will be hills. So we said the 2 is a hill. The 3 is a hill. That's interesting. So there's a hill right behind the tower. Maybe it's built into it slightly. Actually, I kind of feel like it is based on the original module. It's kind of funny. Let's see. We've got a 4, 2 8s, and a 10. The 4 is heavy woods. The 8s are light wood, and the 10 is a marsh. Okay. So heavy woods. We have 2 light woods. Okay. I only have 1 light green, so I'm going to use the light blues to be light wood. I know that's kind of confusing. Actually, Let me see if I have another light green. If not, we'll just kind of make it work with the one light green that I have. I'll put the one here. And I'm going to pause it here, and I'll look through my pile and see what I have, and I'll come back, and we'll start putting the forces of chaos out. Okay, I do not have another light green, so what we're going to do is I'm going to let the dice decide. 1 through 3, we're going to put a pond there, so water. 4, 5, 6 is just going to be grass. Okay, we're going to put a pond over there. That's kind of interesting because it'll block off this corner of the battlefield from approach. Unless we want to go through the water or if we could fly. All right. Good, good, good. Now, I've got a whole bunch of forces of chaos. I've decided to go with undead for this just because I felt like it. These are zombies. I have a lot of them. And then I've got a handful of these. These were like cheap, undead. I have a handful of like oddballs. These guys are going to be whites. And then there were some griffins. I rolled again and I got 4. I don't have any griffins, so I'm using these cockatrice miniatures and this guy as well. What's it? Doesn't say, but it's that one that casts a human shadow when it flies. So these guys are they're gonna start here as the main guards. And then we're gonna roll a little bit of, we'll roll some randomness to see where everybody else kind of appears. We'll get these set up and I'll come back. Actually, I guess I can at least roll it here. So the zombies, let's say we'll start with the whites. I'm going to just go around like outdoor survival style to what part of the board they're going to be on. 1, that's interesting. So these guys are actually in the water. Interesting. So we'll say that it's water, but it's kind of a marshy environment. You know, they're undead. They're hanging out here. Put these guys here. Now whites are individual monsters, so each of these is a single thing. They can move up on their own. Mostly, as are these guys, but mostly everything else, like the zombies, we're doing 1 to 10 scale. So this would represent 10 zombies, as it would be. All right, so let's put the first, we're going to do them in groups of 200. So first group, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to be here in this heavy woods. All right, we're going to put 200 zombies here. 1, 2. I may have miscounted, but that's about right. Where's the next group going to go? 6. That's actually going to be over there in that corner by the hill. I'm just going to do a handful. That's that's going to be my process. And the final handful, same place. Okay, so this hill is heavily occupied. Maybe there's a graveyard here. Who knows exactly why? But most of the forces of chaos are going to be over here on this hill. So let me get these guys to stand up properly and everything. And we'll start to bring in the forces of good. We'll figure out where they're going to come from. Okay, had to move the camera over a little bit there. All right, so now what I'm going to do, because of course this worked out that it's a little bit, obviously the forces of good could just come in where the zombies aren't and make it easy. But what I'm going to do instead to make it a little more of a challenge, I'm going to roll 3 dice. And these will be 3 locations that they can choose to come from. And they can come from all 3 if they want. So I'm going to roll 3. We'll see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So they can come in through this corner. 4, which would be this side. 5's here, right? So actually 1, hold on, you know what? I think I counted it wrong. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep the same thing I was doing. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be this side. 5 is the corner technically, but for these guys. So this actually makes sense. All right, so the forces of good are actually, I guess maybe they saw where these guys were and they're all going to come in this way. Now, they do want to take the tower, but of course, they need to eliminate these forces as well. So it's not as simple as just going to the tower and beating the zombies there. But they will be able to come in this fairly clear area, although the marsh is not going to be ideal. So let me go get the forces of good. We'll set them up and we'll go for it. Okay. Yeah, you guys can't see the whole board that well. Sorry about that. Back up. Since not much is happening on this side of the board, I pulled the camera back over because we're coming in over here. So I've got a variety of troops for the forces of law, as we'll call them. And I'm just going to kind of run through them quickly. Right here, I have archers. There. Next to them, I have armored foot. Off the page, so they come in next turn, are heavy foot. Next to them, I have the hero on a horse, the hobbit behind them, and the wizard behind them. There is another magic user involved in this, but we're just not going to utilize them. Over here, I have their light foot as far as armored, but they're carrying pole arms, so they fight as armored foot. And then I have some heavy foot. And what our plan is going to be is to try to take out these guys as quickly as possible, letting the armored foot come up to fight the zombies, because they're going to be the toughest. Because zombies and wights are immune to normal missile fire. So these archers are only going to be useful against our flying creatures. And we're going to try to take them out as quickly as possible because they're pretty devastating. But I made some notes for myself, so I don't have to keep looking things up. Let's just get to it. So let's start off by rolling initiative. And initiative will determine... So what I'm going to say is... Well, actually, I should always let the dice decide, right? So... Zombies, ghouls, and stuff like that, they have a penalty during the daytime hours. And humans and such are going to have to use light if they're fighting at night. Although, you know, if it's a moonlit night, or if it's incredibly cloudy, there can be some in-betweens, right? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say, is it dark enough that the zombies and ghouls, wights and stuff will not have a penalty? So let's just roll the oracle. No. Yes. Something bad. Okay, so this is the tiebreaker die, so it's not dark enough for them to not have a disadvantage. Is that what the question asked? So in other words, it is daytime, but something bad. So I'm going to say that something bad is going to be that we're spotted and that I'm not going to roll initiative for the first round. I'm just going to let the enemies go first, if they so choose, and I think they will go first. So to reiterate, it is about noontime, we'll say. We came in at a time that would be bad for the zombies. Okay, almost did it again. I guess I didn't hit record there, so I'm going to just run through what I did because I do not want to move all the figures again. So what we've got here is a couple of situations. Down here I have archers. I know that you can't see them that well, but they're going to come in a second. They are being attacked by a griffin that flew down from here. The griffin took one shot on the way in. So I've just done the movement phase for the bad guy so far. These are armored foot. They are not engaged at all. Over here, the hero got engaged by a griffin that flew down. The wizard also got engaged by a griffin that flew down. The hobbit's there in the back. Over here, I have pikemen, but they're light foot, but they have pikes. They got engaged by a griffin, and then I have heavy foot over there that have not been engaged. So now we've moved all the forces of chaos, and then of course the zombies have moved around. You probably see that. They're basically making their way around to defend the tower. So the next step here for me is going to be to move the forces of good, if you will. And I need to, try to do the best I can to help out these guys over here, because griffins are pretty tough. I don't know if I'm pointing or not. So basically this group can't move, right? They're going to be involved in the melee. This group, these guys can't move. The armored foot can. They could circle. I mean, I know this is kind of in the air, but it flew down to fight. So they could actually circle around to help here. But I don't think that's what they want to do, only because the hero is probably going to have, hopefully be able to take the griffin out. So they're actually going to help the archers. So I'm going to move my armored foot. They have a total of 6 movement. So all I'm going to do is just reform them this way. And I'm just going to count that as switching formation is 1 move. So I'm going to kind of just turn them, if you will. Actually, I don't know if they can really do that because they would have to run. So they're going to have to move forward. They're going to move forward. I guess they're just going to move forward 3. They're going to move forward 3 because they're going to try to circle around and get these griffins. So if they go 3, they should be able to do that. So they're going to move like this. And then they can use half their movement just to turn. So they're going to move up. They're basically going to turn like that. I'll turn them now as I do them. But that's going to be their full movement. They're going to come in and flank this griffin. Well, that's the intention anyways. These griffins are quite tough. And my plan was, and I think I didn't record this part either, I was hoping that the forces of good would go first, but we did roll though, and we discovered that it is daytime. But I also rolled on the oracle dice for a negative, and the negative was that they were kind of ready for us. So the griffin, they got the jump on us, and the griffins were able to come in and attack. Hopefully, that won't have decided the day. Sometimes the first move in the game can decide the day. So I guess we're about to find out. So they moved. The heavy foot over there, their movement is 9. They can't charge because of the angle. So they have 12 if they charge. They're going to do the same thing. They're going to come up. It'll cost them I can see that's the same distance, so it's 3 inches. If they move 3 inches, they'll have 6 left, but it costs half their movement, which is 4.5 to turn sideways, and then they can move forward. So they're going to basically be able to move basically right to here. So they're going to move up, and then they're going to turn, and they're going to move over like this. And I'm going to say that's close enough to engage the griffin. Because in chainmail, if you're within 3 inches, you usually you can pull yourself into a melee. So I'm going to say in this case, I'm going to allow it. So the griffins are quite tough, so this may not matter, but you know, everything we can do. All right, so these guys haven't moved, so they will take 1 point of exhaustion. They'll take 1 point, and nobody else has moved on the good guy's side, so we're going to pause there. And then we're going to go to the next phase, which would normally be missile fire, but there's nobody actually that can be fired upon missile-wise. Everybody, any enemy within range is involved in melee, which means the next step is melee. So I'm just going to do it starting here. This griffin attacks as 4 light horse. So when we look at the archers defend as light foot. So when we look at our chart, light horse versus light foot gets 2 dice per with a 5 and 6 killing. Well, they get 2 dice per and they count as 4. So they're going to roll 8 dice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll 4 dice twice. 5s and 6s will be kills. Ooh, boy. Okay, that's 3 kills. This could be very bad for my archers. Okay, 4 kills. All right, so 4 of my archers have been killed. Actually, I'm just going to leave them there for a second. Let's do the return. I have 5 Lightfoot. They are attacking Heavy Horse. 1 die per 4 men. Okay, so they get 1 die. They roll a 6, they'll get another hit against this thing. They did not. Okay. So I'm going to remove 4. Okay. And that's the first round of combat. So what I've been reading online and people are saying is that perhaps you're supposed to fight multiple rounds of melee until one side either breaks morale or dies. But each time you still do all the math, right? So they just lost 4 of their guys. They had a total of 10. So that is 30, well, it's 40%. I think they have to make a morale check. These guys are Lightfoot, so yeah. 8 or better on 2d6. If they don't beat 8 or better on 2d6, they get rushed off the field. 7. Okay, they're actually gone. This griffin has taken out this entire group of archers, which really messes with our plan. They move their full movement. Are they within 3 inches? Because they actually have a missile attack. They are. Okay. At the end of the turn, I'll come back to that. Let's move on to the hero versus the griffin. Now, here we can fight on fantastical combat. So I will say this, because I'm doing this as part of a campaign. If the hero, the wizard, or the hobbit get taken out, they're basically going to be captured. They're not going to be killed. Okay, hero, to beat a rock, which is what this would be considered, needs a 10. No. A rock trying to defeat a hero, oh God, only needs a 5. No, okay. But that's fantastical combat, so we're just going to leave that there. The wizard, to defeat a rock, needs a 9. Nope. The rock, to defeat a wizard, needs a 10. No, okay, that was close. All right. The hobbit can't do anything because they're involved in fantastical combat. Over here, the griffin is attacking, again, Lightfoot. So that's 2 dice per. So we'll do the exact same thing as we did before. 4 dice twice. 5s and 6s are kills. Okay, that's 1. Oh my God. That's 4 again. That's what they got last time. All right, so they are going to... Okay, hold on, let me check that, because these guys are considered... They got the pikes, so they have slightly better morale. No, they have to lose 50% before they make a check. So they are actually good, but they will still lose 4. Oh. Okay, they get to attack back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. They're attacking as armored foot. And because they have pikes, they get a +1. So armored foot versus heavy horse. 1 die per 3. There's 5 of them, so they'll get 2 dice. And they add an extra die. Okay, so they're going to get 4 dice. No, they get 3 dice. Nothing. Okay. On the side here, these guys are going to be the same because they're heavy foot attacking, but because they're flanking, they'll fight as the next level up. So that any 6s are hits. Nothing. Okay. Here though, because nobody has broken morale or anything, we're going to continue the melee. And you know, in my mind, again, people say you should do multiple rounds and stuff, but it also talks about the idea that during a melee, people can like wrap around and stuff, and I'm going to 100% do that. We're going to surround this thing as long as it's within 3 inches. So it is. So I'm going to move like that. I'm going to get as many of my guys as I can on this thing. Okay. So now we've got 10 guys total, all fighting as armored foot. So per 3, yeah, I can't get enough. So they're going to get 3 dice, and they'll get 1 more. Actually, they should get 1 more per person. So they should get 1 more last time. And then they're going to get 2 more because of the pikes. So this is the good guys. 1 hit against the enemy. The enemy gets to fight back. They can't return blows to the guys behind them, so. Oh my god, okay. 3 more. 4 more. That seems to be their jam. They're still not quite at 50% down, so they don't have to make a check. And we can turn around and go again. Actually, I'll leave that because it's been hit once. Let's do the bad guys first this time. Nothing. 1. Okay. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now they're down 50%. So I'm going to have to make a morale check. Let me just do their attacks first. So there's 2 plus 2 is 4, and then plus 2 in the back. So 5 dice for them. Okay, that's another hit. And I'll do the morale check. They have to beat a 5. And they do. Okay, so they'll actually fight to the death at this point. And was that 3 rounds of combat? I believe that it was. Okay, so what people have been saying, and I don't know why 3, but that's what the consensus has been. After 3 rounds, you, I guess, pause the melee. You know, I'm just going to keep fighting. I'm just going to keep fighting until something happens, because I feel like that makes more sense. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. So, this is the bad guy, by the way. Nothing. 2. Good guys. Nothing. This does not bode well. Bad guys. Nope, that's 1 extra die. So I'll just pull 1. Well, actually, I'll just roll 3 for the next 3. Nothing. Good guys. Oh, there we go. Don't even need that, but that's 3 more hits. That means this thing's dead. Woo! But that was multiple rounds of melee, so I'm going to say these guys, everybody here is exhausted at this point as that turn ends, and we come into turn 2. Okay. Wow, all right. Just clear the board a little bit here. So that was 4 rounds of melee. They're probably not exhausted, but they're pretty close to it, so I'm probably just going to have them rest this next turn. Speaking of the next turn, let's roll initiative. Okay, the bad guys win. They decide to move first. Oh, hold on. Before I do that, at the end of the turn, even though they move their full movement, if they can beat the bad guys in a die roll, they'll get to make a missile attack. They do. All right. 2 rows can attack, and they are, so that's 6 of them. I think that's just 1 die, but you know what? We'll give it a shot. 6 of them On a roll of a 5 or a 6, they do 1 damage. No. All right, well, it's worth a try. Okay, next turn, we said the bad guys get to move first. And they will. Okay, these zombies are going to finish their movement and then turn. Are they within 3 inches of the 1.5 inches of the border? I'll say it's close enough. So let's move these guys up 1.5 inches. I'll just do this. Boop. All right, so that's the reason why I said that is because that's half their movement, and then they're going to turn. So they're actually going to turn like this. So they're now guarding this tower. These guys are in the woods still. Their movement is, for zombies, is 6. So they can move 3. Okay. This does not bode well for the good guys. I gotta tell you this right now. All right, these guys can also move 3, which will put them just outside the thing. Okay. These guys can all move 6. Oops, knocked that guy over. They can move 9, actually, but they can move 4.5. 4.5 will just get them out of the water, basically. They're gonna, I think they're gonna end up going up the hill. So they'll kind of go like this to defend the back. Okay, these guys can move 6. Which would put them here. I'll move them and then they'll do like a turn next, like a reformation. Okay. These guys are, they're on the hill. I'm going to say that they lose a little bit of movement just to be, because they're kind of on the back side of the hill. Okay, these guys are going to march down. Just going to march right to here, and then they're going to turn next time. These guys are going to do the exact same thing. Seems like they're going the wrong way, but they're just trying to get on a fast track here. Get off that hill. Probably should have went the other way, but it's okay. That's the decision I made. That's what they did. Alrighty. Now the forces of good, if you will move forward. These guys are going to move. They're actually going to charge. They're on flat ground. And yeah, they can definitely charge. They're going to charge in. So they can get a little bit of a bonus here. Still going to be a very, very, very tough fight. Oh, I guess this guy could have moved. Hold on. And he would have, because why wouldn't he move? He doesn't want to get hit from the side. So he's actually going to spin around and attack them directly. So they'll stay where they are. Boop. Okay. This guy moves forward. And what I'm going to do here, actually, is because they haven't moved yet, is I'm going to allow them to kind of wrap around this guy. Like I said, in melee, you can do that. We'll try to get 1, 2, 3. We'll try to get 9 anyways. They're all just going to kind of cluster around. Because the other reason for that is I want to move these guys in, the new guys. They're actually going to join the hero here and attack this griffin, who couldn't move because it's engaged in a melee. Actually, I wonder if they should have attacked the one that was on the... Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So what we're going to do here is... And then here, like I said, these guys are going to rest and reform. Their plan is to go towards the tower, so... Actually, they're resting, so they're not going to... They can't reform while they're resting. They're just going to sit there for a second. And that will be all the movement. Okay. I have these reinforcement troops. I'm not sure if I said this when I started recording again. There's some over here. At the end of each turn, I'm supposed to roll. If I get a 6, they can come in. Should have done it last time. Okay, nope. All right, so this is where we're at. All right, let's do the melees. So we've got this fight here. And again, we have enough people behind him that I'm just going to give them that. So they're going to attack as armored foot. So they're going to get 3 dice. Oops. 3 dice with 6s. Oops. 3 dice with 6s killing. Hitting, rather. That's 1. That's all they get. So he's hit twice now. Let's do that. And it's going to get a return attack. Oh. Wow, these griffins are tough. Okay, it takes out 4 of them. Now for these guys, they're only heavy foot. So I think they have to make a morale check. Man, these things are tough. Let's see. Heavy foot, 33%. So they got to beat a 7 on 2d6. Okay, here we go. 7 or better. Okay, they're also run off the field. If you've been enjoying these actual play videos, please do take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, do all the good YouTube stuff. Also check the description. Down there you will find a link to most of, if not all, the tools I use for this game. If there's something I'm using and you don't see it down there, let me know. I'll try to find a link. Not everything I use is available really, but most of it is. Also, if you want, pick up one of my t-shirts. There should be a link down there for my t-shirts as well if you're interested in supporting the channel. I'll talk to you soon.